Willy Mix today to demo you the Black Rooster VLA3A. It's an emulation of the CLA3A compressor. So I will demo this plugin and do a little comparison with the Wave one, the CLA3A. So let's start with a full track, just to see how the VLA3A reacts to all the transient information and all the frequencies. Listen to the track to see what it does. So to me, it adds quite a lot of punch to the kick and to the low end of the track. It adds some low ends to compensate with the gain reduction. It's really enjoyable. So let's try now this CLA3A just to see if it does the same thing. This one seems to have more emphasis on the high and mid frequencies, to the snare and the hi-hat. So let's compare the two to see. Okay, so they do sound a lot different to me. The VLA3A seems to have more low end and the CLA3A seems to have more high end. So they quite complement each other. So now let's test the VLA3A with guitar tracks, because it's CLA3A is a famous compressor for guitar. So I've just recorded some track for the demo with Cypress TT-15. It's a free amp simulator by Black Rooster, and I just add a low pass and high pass and low pass with the Black Rooster VLA3A. That is also a free plugin from Black Rooster. Both guitar are pan left and right and goes to a guitar bus, and there is also a more clean guitar that don't go to the guitar bus. So let's hear the guitar alone. Okay, so quite basic riff, and now let me put just an EQ to beef them up. I know it's not the purpose of the demo, but just to make the track a little bit more enjoyable to listen. And now let's try the VLA3A on the stereo bus of the guitar. Okay, I quite like a lot how it does glue the guitar together and add them a little bit of bottom end. It's a really great compressor for stereo guitar like that. I do think it works really well. So now let's try the CLA3A. The CLA3A seems to give them more punch because it gives them more high and more high mid, so they're really quite different. Let's just look at the release time, how they differ from each other. The Black Rooster is a lot slower than the Waves. I think the hardware is a bit in between those two in terms of release time. So now let's compare both. So now let's try to see how they can help a guitar to get out of the mix. So that's why I record this really clean guitar. Let me engage, it's better. And now let's try to see. I have to say that I prefer the VLA3A in this example because it seems to tame a bit the high frequency and high mid frequency of the guitar and don't let it sound too gnarly, but help it to get through the mix. So just listen again. It's very subtle, so you may not probably can hear it on YouTube. Now let's try a last example, something that is most sensitive. It's a subkick, and I will use the VLA3A and the CLA3A with a lot more compression just to see how they react to more aggressive sounds and how they react to the low frequencies, because with the software compressor and even some hardware, when you do compress a lot, they seems to really crush the low end and the low mid, and so make it sound a bit thinner. So let's see how the VLA3A reacts to that. That's cool. In fact, with the VLA3A, the subkicks seems to sound a lot fatter because it has a slow release, so it helps to give it more sustain and more body, but because it also boosts the low end. Listen again. Of course, it's quite compressed, so it's not something that I always use in normal tracks. Let's try now the CLA3A. Oh. This one seems to react a lot more in the low end frequencies, and it does a bit what I told you before. It does compress too much the low end and the low mid information and quite makes the sound a little bit thinner, but with more attack and with more punch at the same time in the high mid frequencies. Let's hear it again. Now let's compare both quickly. Okay, so the CLA3A seems just to help the kick to have more body by increasing the sustain with his slow release, and the VLA3A seems to do the same thing, but it adds a more low end, so it seems to help the subkick to be a little bit more fatter, and so I do think that this one sounds better on a bass instrument, on bass track like a bass guitar, bass synth, or kick bass or subkick like this one that come from an 808. So I do think that this one fits better the low mid frequency and low frequency, whereas this one seems to be better to help mix cut through if you need more high mid and more mid presence. So they complement each other in some sort of way, and I do like them a lot. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy my demo, and don't forget to check the VLA3A on the Black Rooster website. It's a quite good company that makes some good plugin, good freebies like this one and this one, and also another one that is a canary, that is a drum shaper. So don't forget to check what they did, and happy mixing. Bye.